Give him the clap.
Oh, I can't.
Hey, yo.
Bruh, I'm hurting.
Spencer worked out
Wait,
for
should
the
I wear
first
my
time.
glasses or no?
You can take them on and off.
Like I can start with them on?
Like when you're talking about something serious, put them on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put it
when it's
up.
serious, you take them off, and then when it's
Seriously.
not serious,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Can
not.
you also at some point, like, since you got the little diamond in your tooth, like, make that shit sparkle in the episode, like, you know, when you drop a gem?
Yeah, can we?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
that's good.
that shit.
Editors.
Don't look at me. I dropped those honors a long time ago.
All right.
can't-
Well,
hear
now
you.
we have to cut the last 20 minutes because Ashley won't stop talking.
This has only been recorded for like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Love you,
we already
Ashley. Love. All right, well, shit. Welcome back to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. It's your co-host, Mr. Brown Broken Guapo, Jake.
Gang, it's your boy Spencer. I guess Mr. 20% now. This is what
Bro, you can't keep bringing that up and not explaining it.
Nah.
Like, you, one day.
If
one
you
day.
know, you know.
Okay. Well, shit, we have 3 of Hartford's finest as guests today, part of our little panel. Maybe that should be the name of the episode, Hartford's finest.
Hartford's finest.
I feel like I'm back in middle school with that name. You guys know that I'm god awful at introducing folks, but and I wouldn't do y'all justice, although I kind of know all 3 of you. But I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves, and then we're gonna get shit on and popping.
Perfect. Should I go first?
Ladies first.
Okay, so my name is Sonia Marantz. Also go by Sonia Soul. Yes, born and raised in Hartford. And yeah, I love my city.
Gang. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Miss Soul.
Yeah, I am like a local DJ, singer, dancer, performer, whatever. So I perform almost like 4 or 5 nights a week here, all around different places in the city and outside of the city. But yeah, my focus is basically like music and sharing art with other people, pretty much.
That's dope. That's dope.
Tight. Well, my name's Elijah Hilleman. I'm co-owner of Simia Cafe and Studio based in Hartford, Connecticut.
My favorite place, one of my favorite places.
It's a vibe if you haven't been there before.
And yeah.
I've never
Yeah, you
seen
have
you
to
so
pull up.
mellow before.
What?
yeah.
I don't know.
There you go. That's what I do. You know, just that's my
You're mellow Elijah. All right,
Mellow
man.
Elijah.
And last but not least,
My name is Rashawn Dally. I was born in Jamaica. Been living in Bloomfield in the Hartford area for the past, 13 years. I'm currently a professional soccer player. I run a sports empowerment business as well.
Hey.
And yeah.
talk that talk,
Dope.
brother.
It's fire.
Gang.
So you guys know we normally start off with like a random question from left field, just to kind of like break the ice, get everybody chatting before we hop into our topic. Which, you know, today I figured like it would be interesting to chat about the culture of Hartford. You know, we talked about it a little bit off mic, but people always have so much to say about Hartford. Mm-hmm. So I figured I would get some people that actually know about Hartford, have experienced Hartford, work in Hartford, that are Hartford to chat about it. So Spencer's gonna ask the question, then we're gonna hop right into things.
Dope. All right, so we're all entrepreneurs here. So my question is, how do you
Get here.
how did you get here? How do you divide your work-life balance along with still trying to achieve your goals as an entrepreneur?
I'll take that just to kind of give everybody a second to think, but in 2 aspects. The one cliche that we all know, like what is it? Work hard, play harder. So that's in one sense, but I also intertwine having fun with my work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
I like
like
that.
this podcast, like although we ain't like getting rich off of it, it's still a job. You know what I mean? Like my coaching, it's I love coaching, and yes, I'm getting paid and going to work every day, but like if I go coach 4 sessions a day, it doesn't feel like I just worked for 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like alongside with that is like, because I'm an entrepreneur, I get to set my price. You know what I mean? Like, I know my worth. So where, when I started, it was like, okay, this might be worth this. It's like, nah, I actually know my worth. So I'm also getting the money out of it too. Like, and it's not always about the money, but when you're an entrepreneur grinding, you got to at least make sure you're getting paid. And people always come to you, oh, can I get a deal this? Can I get a deal that? Whether it's DJing, coffee, sports. Oh, can I get this? Like, you know, actually, nah, like, you wouldn't go into Gucci and ask Gucci for a deal. So why are you coming to me and asking me for a deal?
I would.
Yeah, oh, shit. You a real one. But
y'all take coupons?
Oh,
you gotta try it this one, dude.
I got my EBT card, but
right.
no, but you know what I mean? So that's how I line it up. And obviously, like, I like to have fun just as much as the next person, but I, going into 30 years old and making sure that, like, at my everyday life is also fun. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, for me, definitely, I make my own schedule, and I created the life at this point that I want. I'm on the path, at least, to, like, the life that I want. So for me, like, collaborating with other artists too, like other DJs and singers, and especially when I have, like, live band gigs, like, that is so fun to me, and, like, I can really enjoy my time. I kind of don't remember the question, if it was like, how do you enjoy your time while working, or how do you achieve your goals?
Yeah. So, like, while you're trying to achieve your goals, how do you create a work-life balance for yourself, but still be on this path?
On the path, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like, as far as, like, my goals go, I feel like what I'm doing is slowly reaching each goal. Like, each year, I feel like I definitely am hitting a goal that I would like. So I think it's just maintaining that, but enjoying the time while I'm doing it. Because if I'm not enjoying it, then I'm definitely going to not hit my goal as quickly as I would like to, I think, you know.
That's real.
Yeah. That's what I think.
I don't think there is a work-life balance. Like,
talk no shit.
I mean, like, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever business you are doing falls on you. You know, so, like, maybe you have, like, to Sonia's point, a goal, and whatever goal that is, you work towards it, you know, and you make the time for it. And there are a bunch of things that I would love to do, but my business comes before me. It's literally like my baby. I have to put it before me. And I might have, like, hours in the day for myself that I'm trying to incorporate more time for myself. Kind of like, I'd rather not have life happen to me, but more of, like, create my life in a way that I'm interacting with it intentionally. You know, because sometimes you think of work-life balance and you're just working all the time. Like, life is just happening to you now.
Right.
You know, and that kind of just will burn you out to
Definitely.
at any point.
I think also, like, for you too, it's different because you're, like, a business owner. It's totally different than me. Like, yeah, I have my own business, but it's like I'm a self-employed DJ, singer. Like, it's a different world where I think, like, what you're doing in a way is, like, more stressful for different reasons. You know what I mean? Like,
true. I mean, but that, to my earlier point of, like, if your goal as a DJ is to want to spin at, I don't know, on, like, Coachella or at some platform, right? Yeah. Like, what are the things you need to do to get yourself there? And does like
grind.
Yeah, literally.
Grind.
And that
doesn't stop.
Exactly. So if your goal is just say, hey, like, this summer I want to get these many gigs and whatever, then awesome, you're doing it. But, like, it's kind of like, where do you personally feel your top is? Yeah. You know? But that's my thing.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all saying in a sense, and for me, I feel like all right, so I'm in the business of playing professional sports. So one, I feel like my body is a business. I got to take care of my body. So most of the time that I have when I'm not at training or at games, I'm conscious about what I'm eating and what I'm doing to keep my body prepared. And then along with running my sports empowerment business now, coaching on the sides or camps or whatever that is, I feel like that's all intertwined in terms of I'm conscious of the platform I have and what impact I can make with that platform. So it's all kind of there in one. And also recognize that the more I grow as a person is the more my business and myself as a player will grow. So it's almost like, if going back to I think what Jacob was saying, it's like if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're just gonna find yourself exhausting yourself, type of thing. Whereas it's like, I'm enjoying doing all these things, I'm enjoying taking care of my body, so the balance just kind of come naturally. And to be honest, like, I feel like is when I neglect those things, taking care of myself and my body and so forth, where I feel like there isn't a balance and getting, you know, like knocked off my game, type of thing.
And I think kind of like what Rashawn is saying, and it's like making me think of like finding the purpose in everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, you know your purpose because like everything's intertwined and connected, right? But as soon as you get away from that, or like, damn, why am I doing this, or I'm not enjoying this, it's like, well, then none of this makes sense, and there goes that balance, you know what I mean? But when you say like, yeah, I actually enjoy eating healthy, because you could find it, like, people think, oh, let me just go eat this salad or whatever the case is, you're gonna get tired of eating salads. But with you, it's like, actually, no, I need to eat healthy, so let me find a fun, good way to make this work, not just for me, but for my business, for my performance, like everything. And it all falls in line when you know your purpose and your why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I was actually talking about this with someone at the shop the other day. Like, people, I can't remember, I think I saw it on like a TED Talk or some shit like that, where people buy the why you do something rather than what.
Simon Sinek talked
that's the dude.
That's
Shout out
guy.
to Simon.
Say that. He said Simon, I don't know what you
Simon,
said.
whatever your name is,
Simon
bro.
some guy.
Sorry, bro. You got nice glasses. No, but it's people buy the why you do something versus like the what you're doing.
Yeah, and he was talking about Apple. And he was like, the circle.
That's hard. Like, talk about the hardest product out here. But also something I think not a lot of people are real with this shit though. I keep saying shit. Is that cool?
You can say
okay,
shit.
cool. Okay.
We have adult
I'm like,
listeners.
can I cuss this shit?
I done cursed like 17 times.
Okay. Because we're talking about like loving what you're doing, and you will love what you're doing, but there are going to be days where you do not like what you are doing. Like, I think that I don't know. Sometimes when I hear that, especially growing up hearing it, or like striving to open up a coffee shop or a business, I'm like, dang, like I do love what I'm doing, but even now that I have it, I'm like, sometimes I don't like this shit. Like,
and that's okay too.
and that I think that's okay. But to your point of like what you're talking about, taking care of yourself and finding this balance, is when you're like, okay, then I can keep going.
It can be really hard, and like even I agree with you too, because it's like, I actually hate when people are like, wow, your job must be so much fun, like you just get to party all day. I'm like, what? First of all, you think I want to like party every single day? That's ridiculous. I don't want to do that. And secondly,
some
like,
people, that sounds great.
yeah, but like that shit gets exhausting. Like, and it's not even. And to touch on your point too, like, I mean, as far like, I'm an athlete. I've been an athlete my whole life. I coach gymnastics, and like a part of my performances is like backflips and physical things that like I have to keep my body proper. So like when people are offering me drinks and drugs and whatever it is, it's like I don't want that. And like, okay, it's fun to drink once in a while, but it just can't, the balance can be really hard for me. And I'll wake up some days like, wow, I really don't want to socialize with people and like entertain people for 4 or 5 hours at this wedding or whatever I'm booked for. And it's like, I have to get up and do it though, because it's work. Like, I need to pay rent, so I need to do it. But like, yeah, it's just finding the balance can be very tough sometimes.
So let me ask y'all a question based on like literally what all you guys said, right? To kind of like segue into the topic of the culture, right? Because like Elijah just said, and this was what kind of like rang the bell, is like, yes, you love it, right? But then some days you hate it, right? So then what are some things that you guys love about the culture of Hartford and some things you hate? And like, that could be in regards to like your profession, just your life experience, like speak openly, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be that one thing. So like, what are some things you like and some things you hate about the culture of Hartford? And whoever wants to take that.
Go first. I don't know.
I like the
They just threw you under the bus. They were like,
I like the the diversity. I feel like there's a lot of different cultures here that makes up the Hartford culture. You know, you have obviously people who are born here. You have a big Jamaican community, Latin community, and just all those different flavors coming together, having different food spots, bonding over different events. I feel like those are all cool things that, you know, like for me, I grew up here, and then when I left to go play and, you know, like put myself out there to experience other cities, and then came back to Hartford now with that mindset is where I started to see those things in Hartford. Whereas like when I was a kid, it was like whatever I'm used to or whatever my parents were doing, that's what I'm doing. So for me, I'll definitely say the culture. And as for something that I don't like is, if I'm being honest, I feel like the downtown isn't as busy as it should be. Like I go to other cities and like you go downtown and you see people walking all around, like whatever time of day it is.
Right.
Whereas
It's
like in
like a
Hartford,
ghost
I feel
town.
like at a certain time, like when everybody leaves for work or whatever the case may be,
Dead.
it's just, yeah.
So it's two things that you made me think of, right? So when I was like 18 to like maybe 21, right? Like downtown used to be it. You had Up Around the
Really?
Rocks, you had Envy, you had over there by where Russian Lady is, right? That whole area used to be bars and clubs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, and you figured 5 days a week there used to be happy hour. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then people, like the reason Russian Lady closed, and not Russian Lady, what was the one that old
Up
girl
Around the
fell
Rocks.
off?
The
pig?
club.
No.
Was it
Pig
called the
place?
club?
Yeah.
Oh, so like, and I don't want to like say this insensitively, but like I think someone fell off like one of the back balconies,
Yeah.
and then Up Around the Rocks, there were just fights there every week. You know what I mean? And it was just like one by one, they all just started closing, and now we just have what, the Russell over there, the Russian Lady, and what's the
Wow, there's nothing.
exactly. There's nothing there, and
in terms of like nightlife.
In terms of nightlife.
in terms
Yeah.
of night, and even in terms of art, like we have the skate park, right, and like people tag stuff here and there, and like we have Pratt Street, but outside of the summer, Pratt Street's irrelevant. You know what I mean? So I think to echo your sentiment, like there's not enough here, and I don't want to jump to like one of my later points because I was going to talk about gentrification of Hartford, and I think that's going to tie into that. But I agree, and I think sometimes we, as the Hartford community, and I don't mean to be negative, but maybe almost ruin stuff for ourselves. I don't know what y'all think, and we could also tie that in with the initial question or
True.
loop around whatever.
I do agree with what you're Rashawn.
Yeah.
Rashawn? Yeah, I agree with what you're saying though, because even that's just nightlife that you brought up though, because
Right.
like in general, my whole life here, it is dead. Like the streets look dead to me compared to other cities that you go to. When you walk around, there's a lot happening, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's growing slowly, but I just feel like still, no matter what we do, I don't know. I don't see it being like this big major city, you know that. But what was the initial question?
What do you like and hate, or like
Right.
and dislike? I don't want to say hate. Like and dislike about Hartford.
Right, and like for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel a lot of like a good support system in Hartford with my art. But I think that just comes down to like the type of friends we have and like our community, because no matter like if we have those same people around us, no matter where we are, we're going to feel that support. But for me, I definitely do feel that from Hartford. But what, you disagree?
I felt support from my close friends, but I didn't really feel love until I left. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, Jake's playing soccer in Buffalo. Now Jake's in England. Now Jake's over there. And all three of us,
We
four of us, all five of us have left.
Yes.
And came back. I feel like I didn't really feel
I
real love and support until I left. And I also didn't feel a real appreciation either until I left. And then
Yes.
came back.
Yes. No, I agree with you because I left to Costa Rica for 4 years, and it made me appreciate Hartford for what it was so much more leaving, but also coming back, I did feel more support from people. But I think that's just because I grew and this community grew. Because when I left, Samia wasn't a thing. So many things were not a thing yet. So, like, you know, I think it just evolves over time. And then coming back, things kind of change. But I do agree because it's like, oh, I see you doing your thing, Costa Rica, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, oh, so if I didn't leave, maybe they wouldn't feel that way.
You know?
But there's no way to really know that.
And, go ahead.
I don't know. I've always had love. Like, I've
Yeah.
always gotten...
bad.
Yeah, no, I've always gotten love from Hartford. But I also
Hartford love big niggas.
That part. But I lived in Hartford, but I didn't work in Hartford. And I've always been. I mean, do y'all know like the major revenue generator for Hartford?
Insurance.
Literally insurance.
Hey.
Yeah, we don't have
Smart.
like a major
Big brain
sports team. So why would they keep open clubs that high liability for deaths, alcohol, just like drugs, when they can just open up these, like, renovate them, open them up for apartments for more insurance people to live downtown? That's why there's nothing to do down here. I mean, they rather open up these little mom and pop shops, which are dope, than anything that's going to, you know, drive a crowd. Like, if you like baseball, like, it's cool going to a Yard Goats game, but
That shit's kind of boring to me.
yeah, like,
I'm like-
other than that, there's really nothing to do. Or you can watch UConn play at the XL Center.
I mean,
Yeah.
shout out to Richard Kirby. Shake my
Shout
hand,
out
sir.
Kirby.
Shake my hand, sir.
Shake my
He makes a good point of the lack of infrastructure that's in Hartford to support, like, the things that we're talking, some of the things that we're talking about. And one of the things that, I mean, I'm not really a fan of in Hartford is, like, there are a lot of creatives, but there's not enough risk being taken. Like,
Yeah, there's not enough hustlers.
and I think there's lanes, right? So if you're a creative and you want to create, and there's like an open venue space, here I want to have a proof of my product and have this idea come to fruition, right? What you're actually doing as a creative is adding more value to that building. Does that make sense? So like the landlord's actually gaining value off of whatever pop-up event you want to do.
Right.
Whether that's like to show a brand or whatever, right? So if you're creative, like, know your value
To what I was saying
to
earlier.
original, it's like, gotta know your value. Like, you can't you're just getting caught lacking out here with like, if you're creating in a city, people come to cities because of creatives and, like, they add to the culture of the city.
Right.
And most times, like, most creatives are broke and they're just like, this is what I got. Like, and it's fire. It's straight heat. But
Right.
because, like, people like insurance are boring, you know? Like, respectfully, it's just white collar. Like,
Yeah.
you're kind of boring. You're not, like, you just kind of settled for a lifestyle. Congratulations, that's fine. You may have some other things and passions that you like, but you go to these other cities where people took the risk
I
to
feel
get
like
those passions and creatives going.
I feel like there's a lot of risk in insurance, though, in that life, because it's so populated in Hartford.
No, I think,
That's just a whole
but
other
to my
lane, though.
original point is what I'm saying is people are moving to cities that have culture and art.
Yes.
And
And
insurance,
you're
I'm
saying
not
we
look-
don't.
I'm
you're saying
not
we don't have.
I know
that.
we do have it. I don't think the creatives that are creating here understand their value enough that when they are taking a risk, like, get your money, you know, like, understand your the paintbrush that you hold and you add to this mural of culture in Hartford is important. And, like, people are dropping codes everywhere. They're dropping breadcrumbs everywhere. Like I told you,
We were talking earlier.
like, it's up to you to pick up the crumbs. Like, there's codes that are legible. Get it, you know?
Right.
I like that.
So
I feel like
go ahead.
I feel like if there was, you know, like an effort or an incentive in Hartford to bring the different cultures, like I was talking about earlier, into the downtown area, then that would make the difference there, because it's like I feel like we're here right now, kind of like talking about like the downside of Hartford
Right.
to say, right? But it's like we know growing up here, like I go to Granby Street on like a Sunday or something like that to watch soccer. I know how
Fire.
much Jamaicans gonna be out there, food selling, people running jokes. Like it's a great time, and I'm sure it's the same for the Latin community.
On
Like
Cole
you
Park.
have your spot where you
Yep.
can go
Yep.
and do
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. But those are like on the outskirts of the downtown
downtown,
of
yeah.
Hartford.
Right.
Whereas like if people are gonna hear about Hartford from Boston or like I don't know random places in America, like as a city, what's gonna be highlighted is the downtown.
Right.
And here we don't really have that. Like you say, it's like the insurance that's here.
Dunkin'
And
Donuts
so,
Park.
so what would you guys say? And it's interesting you say that because one of my boys from Buffalo came into town a while back, and he always jokes like, "Yo, I could throw a football from one side of your downtown to the other side." Like he was like, "Bro, y'all don't really have a downtown, right?" And I know we've been speaking almost like in a negative connotation, right? But like you were saying, Granby Street with football over there, right? Or Colt Park and them over there, or whatever the case is. There's like a lot of little things like that. And sometimes people associate those things negatively. You know, oh, who knows what they're doing over there? People die over here, whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
But what exactly is the culture of Hartford? Because we've been talking about what we think, right? But what is the culture of Hartford? Because I remember Elijah one time, we were in Samia talking about uptowns. You know what I mean? Like, and you could fashion, right? Like, yeah, we're a pit stop between like Boston and New York, but
What's our identity?
What is our identity? What is Hartford's identity? You know what I mean? And that,
But I mean, to Rashawn's point, right? You were talking about your original point was just like it's the diaspora, like the Latin and Caribbean diaspora, like
I like that word.
That is it.
Diaspora.
You know, like
I'm about to
our
use that.
our abuelo came to cultivate tobacco, right?
Right.
And like there are a bunch of other people whose not
Yeah.
ancestors, even ancestors, but also like lineage
Yes.
goes back to like literally tobacco leaves and like and they built this community and so when you talk about the identity, that is the identity. And I think Hartford as a whole, when they're trying to like brand themselves, like purposely leave it out, right? Which is also like one of the biggest reasons why like my business partner and I, Amy Chambers, like that's our mission, to highlight that at Semilla, like
Right.
with everything that we do.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, for me too, like my grandfather, he came here from Jamaica in the 40s, like same with the same thing, you know, doing the same thing. And it's like, I don't know. For me, I definitely see, I'm the most proud of our cultural, like, purpose, like who we are, like with how diverse we are here. And like, I mean, obviously New York is just as diverse. Like these places are just, but I don't know. Hartford just has, it just feels different to me. Maybe I'm biased because like we're from here, but it just feels different in like a really beautiful way with how much culture we really do have, honestly. And I think people don't see it when they, like you're saying, they see the downtown. Yeah, our downtown is small, but Hartford's huge. The north end to the south end,
Right.
it takes you like 20 minutes to get, 25 minutes, whatever. It takes time, and it's so different. Like the west end, the south end, the north end, it's so different, the culture. And so like, I don't know, I think that's something that people don't also really recognize or give props, because people just associate crime with those pockets, but it's like there's so much happening there too, and that's like where the
Right.
real culture is. Like to me, like that's where it comes from, like not downtown, like at all.
No.
Go ahead.
I agree with that it doesn't come from the downtown, but what I think is like, you know, the downtown is where it's gonna get the big media coverage and be highlighted, you know, like on bigger
be seen.
platforms for people to hear about Hartford type of thing. And I feel like that's like the transition Hartford should get into now, is like
Yes.
it's like like we know it because we live here and like we've been into those communities and see what it's like, but how can we, you know, get that to happen on a bigger scale? Whereas with that, I feel like a lot more inspiration will be in the city for the younger creatives that's trying to come up, because then they'll
Right.
like see something to
Yeah.
you know, like aspire towards. And I mean, like with me playing for Hartford Athletic, I can say that too. Like now that there's a professional team here, and you know, like on weekends there's 5,000 plus people coming to games. Whereas like when we were younger, Jacob, and was playing around the area,
We had nothing.
we didn't have that. Like the closest thing was probably New England Revolutions
Mhm.
up in Mass, or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
the more, you know, we get that highlighted on a bigger scale, and then the more kids will then see and believe in their dreams and what they're trying to
Right.
do, that they can bring it to that higher level.
So let me ask y'all a question. I know Spencer is gonna have a hot take on this one. Do you guys think that part of the change with like I don't want to like keep hitting on the downtown area, but part of it is hitting that maybe the gentrification of downtown? Like if you drive down Park Street don't even look like Park Street anymore, right? You know what I mean? And like, yeah, these apartments are like beautiful and it's great and things like that. And like I remember one day me and Spencer were talking about this, but like, and definitely if anybody disagrees, let me know. Them apartments ain't for us. You know what I mean? And like Spencer said, Hartford, they bring all these insurance people and yada yada yada. And granted, insurance people could be black, white, brown, blue, whatever, but it's more for the wealthy person, not the mom who has 5 kids and is struggling to make ends meet, yada yada, and so on and so forth. You know, like they're little by little kind of taking it over to move those businesses and get rid of the creatives, get rid of the struggling families, get rid of. Go ahead, King, because I know you got something good to say.
Yeah, so I would have to echo what Elijah was saying, where the creatives, they, you know, you need to take that risk and create your own pocket. Like it's not that
When you say pocket, are you talking about like money or just in
general, like
Okay.
you can literally monetize anything. Like today's world, you can make money off of anything.
Facts.
You could literally post on TikTok every day, 3 times a day, and make money by growing your brand. I don't see people from Hartford doing that. But to that point, so like those new apartments that are coming in, they're about $2,200 like a piece to rent. When you
That's
say they're
crazy.
not for us,
Easy. I'm kidding.
like,
Easy,
bro,
bro.
off of, and I don't mean to cut you off because
No,
I
go
know
ahead.
you were about to like, you know,
go ahead.
continue. But if it's $2,200 a month, right, bro? Right now I make $54 a year. $22 a month. That's 3/4 of what I made that month.
So not affordable for you, but it's possible for it to be affordable for you.
Yeah, if I have 2 more roommates, a chicken in the backyard, and fucking selling 3 cows, but for that I might as well go move to New York City.
So that's the scarcity mindset. And like talking to people about finances every day, and when you don't have this delta or like this amount of money left over, like, oh, so what do I need to cut back on? That's scarcity mindset. How do I make more money?
Expand on scarcity mindset. Like
Scarcity mindset is more so like it's coming from survival. It's like, hey, I only have $100 to last me for the next 2 weeks, which sucks. I think we've all been there before, like having to
Right.
budget and just make ends meet. But something inside of you has to be like, nah, I need more. Like, how do I get more? Like, I know there's more out there. There's not a deficiency of money in the world. I promise. You could go and get it. So I always just thought it was unfortunate that there are these pockets on the north end, the south end, even the west end, where it's like there's a lot of dope people I know who are extremely talented, who are better than a lot of mainstream people, but they don't. It's either the risk or they just don't. I don't think they know what's possible. Like it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel through the fog and the mist. And like me, I just went to to an annual meeting with my company, and I got to hang out with hundreds of other black people who look like me who are millionaires. So it's just like, oh shit, like all this work that I've been putting in, like this is the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I see that's possible. It's hard for a creative in an area like Hartford to see that's possible because that's, to your point, that's not our culture. They're like, oh, let's go to New York. I can make it big in New York. Oh, let me just go to LA.
Yeah.
that needs to be established here. And it's not impossible. Yeah, it's going to be hard work, but anything you want to establish is hard work.
But they could also help us by, obviously they don't really care, right?
Yeah.
And they know someone can afford that $2,200 apartment, right? But there's no reason why an apartment on Park Street should be should cost, I should say, $2,200.
On Park Street, or are you talking about the one right there on Main Street?
Oh no, well I'm just bringing up Park Street in general.
Oh.
But even that, right? I get it. There's a banging ass coffee shop. By the way, go to Samia Coffee Shop. It's great. There's the Yard Goats. I get it. It's convenient, but
It's the convenience factor. It's the amenities. There's going to be restaurants on the
there
roof.
ain't no grocery
There's
store
gonna-
within 10 minutes of here. I'm lying.
Yeah.
C-Town right over there.
There's also going to be a bowling alley. It's like it's going to attract the people who can afford it. And trust me, there's a waiting list to get on it, so people can afford it.
But those people are not already in Hartford.
Some of them are. Some of them are.
When I was younger, like my brother, he's a police officer in Windsor, and I think it was his graduation I went to or something like that. And a guy was talking about Hartford because they did the academy for the police in Hartford or whatever the case may be. And I remember him saying something about, like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but like the number of people that are in downtown Hartford during the work hours compared to outside the work hours is like it's a disgrace in a sense. Like,
Right.
like the amount of people come here to work and then that money is then going somewhere else.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like wherever they're gonna pay their car tax or their housing tax. So it's like that money is not coming back into the city.
And to your point, like the development can also be an opportunity to keep people in the city, essentially.
Yeah.
And again, like if your lane is to create and activate spaces, there's someone out there that can support you and say, okay, I'm going to get you this space. And also, like, if you want to rent this space, because I really like this idea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying.
yeah, like, you got to believe in it.
Put yourself out there.
And put your, like, yeah, I mean, for Samia, like, I talked about Samia for years. Like, 4 years for 4 years, like, and, I met a lot of people through that, and just, like, speaking as if this thing has already been opened.
Right.
And, like, speaking as if whatever I'm creating, it's just happening. Like, yeah, it's going to be tight.
It's also a dope segue too because you worked in a coffee shop too, so it's like you also got to get like a subtle plug.
10,000 hours kind of deal.
Yeah. No, it's also too, you got to think, like, what I've learned being an entrepreneur, you can't look to friends, family, and people you grew up with to support you. Your best supporter is going to be a stranger.
That's interesting.
So whether they're a stranger in a different part of the city, outside of the state, it's like you can't, if you want to open that niche in Hartford, to Elijah's point, like, that's great, but you also need to draw in people to Hartford. Like, it's now almost your responsibility, since you set up shop here, now you need to bring in business from outside. Like, you need to bring an attraction. It's kind of,
It goes to the why.
yeah.
Like, for Sonia DJing, why do you DJ? Like, why should I go to your set versus someone else's set?
Right.
And then when I meet you, I'm like, oh my God, like,
That's why.
you're such an amazing person. That's why. Right? Like, and it really is that deep. It really is that deep.
And it's interesting that you guys both say that, because it brings me to my next point. Because it sounds like we just been shitting on Hartford for the last 35 minutes, but like, Hartford's great. I just got back from Buffalo. Their brunch experience is terrible. Hartford, we got it. Y'all are dope. Talk about that later. But I think one of the best things about Hartford is the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can go to Samia any day, and like, a lot of the people that I've met through Elijah are like now good friends. You know what I mean? And like, something that like is a huge topic right now, like the LGBTQ plus community, right? Like, Hartford is so welcoming, and correct me if I'm wrong, like to everybody. You know, no matter what background, what community you come from, and like if you can get with the right people, like you guys were saying, the support is there. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I know Rashawn, I see him like whether he started a game or came in as a sub, whether he scored a goal and assist or just played, like after every game, you can bet there's people there like posting like, hey, good game, or trying to see him, or whatever the case is. Like the people in Hartford might actually be like the best
thing about
Hartford.
That's why I said earlier, like, it doesn't matter where I am, it's the people. Like, like if I have the same community of group of friends I have here, anywhere, like,
you're good.
I'm good. Like, because our friend group is that tight. Like, and that just, and when I say friend group, I mean like Samia crew, the CAF.
Community.
Like our community, you know? So for me, that's my idea of my community here. But
yeah, I mean, I don't even see as like what we were saying about Hartford as negative at all. I think
either.
thinking
matter
of it.
Fact.
Yeah, I think not even. Yeah, it's just facts. No, it's more just like thinking critically about ways to improve and like pushing us a little bit more. You know, like I think. Yeah, like if I don't know, like I don't like when people are like, oh, this person said no, so that's it. It's like, what? There's thousands of other people that are going to say yes. Or it's like, no, here's another avenue, right? Like, or here's another person that would be interested, or like it does. That's what my point about risk. Like you can't give up so easily, you know, like
people don't like hearing no. You know, people don't like hearing no. Like, they don't like getting doors slammed in their face, and it's you know, it's discouraging.
It really sucks.
And then it goes back to your why. Like, okay, like why am I doing this?
How do you think the culture, the atmosphere, the community of Hartford has changed now that we have another professional? Because the Yargos came first, right? I mean, I obviously care more about the soccer team than I do baseball, but how do you think like the community and the culture, like do they contribute to the culture? Because I know we were talking earlier like about the fans, you know what I mean? Like they're smack dab in what some people might consider the hood, right? But like, are the inner city people going to Hartford, or is it more from like the suburbs? You know what I mean? So how do you think that contributes to the culture and the community of Hartford?
I think it's making a positive impact, to be honest. Just this past year, including myself, who's from here, the team also signed 2 other Jamaicans that's played with the Jamaican national team.
When you getting your first call up?
We gonna see. And but I feel like those little things, and you know, having different events. Like I think the other day, there was a game at what's that field that UConn play at? The football team. Yeah. There was a game there with I think it was like the CONCACAF Champions League or something like that.
Really?
But it was New York City FC versus a team from Guatemala, if I'm not mistaken. And like when I tell you, our team went to the game to watch or whatever, and like there was this one whole side of the fans with just like flags from Guatemala, all these things, like so like the people are there and the people come out, you know what I'm saying? And like from like a standpoint that I'm more closer to the West Indian community, they had like the Caribbean night the other day where people came out. And the other day I had an experience though that was like it really hit me, because I went out to Granby Street to go watch some soccer, and just like talking to people, some of them I know, some of them I know of them, whatever the case may be, but just hearing how invested they are in the games, like just like reminding me of like a little play that happened, or you know what I mean, like knowing the players on the team and stuff like that. It really hit me different, because I'm thinking like, all right, like maybe they're just coming out to the game having a good time, like you know, hanging out. But when I'm seeing that these people are actually watching and like, you know, like being critical, supporting all those things, I'm like, damn, like this means something, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, like, I feel like that's real cool and a positive impact right there.
And
That's huge.
to that point, like, we did 2 live events. Like, the first one, we were like, yo, this shit's crazy. And I think we had like 25 people there at the first one, something like that. But then the second one, like, we packed out Samia. Like, people actually couldn't get in. You know what I mean? So I think when you are doing something wholesome and genuine and intentional, like, I don't think I've ever seen you have an empty set.
Nope.
Yeah, I've seen
You know,
I've
like,
I've
you know
seen
what I
the
mean?
Russell online
Yeah.
like packed when you're performing.
Me?
Yeah,
No, I've only played there once.
like outside, right? Nope.
You sing there.
Yeah, I've sang there. No, but yes, what you're saying, I definitely agree. Like, it was crazy.
Never mind.
No, but it was
Gotcha.
crazy. Like last year when I had came back and I was doing the half tour kind of like every month. That shit grew like it was crazy to see until my going away show that was like people could not stand in there like.
Yeah,
And
that
so
was
like
wild.
I do feel like that. That's what I mean with support from Hartford. That's why I do feel that, because like people come out, but I do think too, like you're saying, if it's wholesome and genuine, like with what I'm doing, the message I'm trying to put through my music and my art, people just feel it and like are on that same vibe. I really believe in like frequencies and like our vibrations, honestly, and like people with similar vibes and intentions as you are gonna pick up on that and like want to be attracted to that. So like
So true.
I think that's what's happening with our friends and like this community as well. Like that's why this is happening.
Again, I'm just piggybacking off of everything Elijah says. No, to that point, and when people get discouraged from like when people say no, that's just not your vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just don't resonate with you the way someone else would. But they're
And it might be a good thing they say no.
exactly like for me, I know there's some clients I don't want to bring on. Like I don't want to talk to you every 6 months. It's just like some people like this isn't gonna be fun. When there's
Right.
other clients where I'm just like Jacob's a client. Like there's some other clients where I'm just like, you know, I enjoy when we catch up. Like, I'd rather talk to you all the time as a friend, and then still also help you. It's mutually beneficial, right?
Facts. Elijah said something earlier, and I wish I would have caught it at that time, about changing the culture of Hartford, right? Like you were just mid-sentence talking. How, well, one, do you guys think that, you know, the culture of Hartford needs changing, or we're kind of just like on a steady incline? And if you do think it needs changing, how or what can we do to change it?
I don't think it needs changing. I think we're on a steady incline.
I think so too.
Really?
Like, what is there to change? I don't.
Yeah,
our culture is what we are. Like,
I think
why
we-
would we change that?
I think we just need more resources.
Yeah.
Like,
Do we create those own resources? Like,
no,
for,
I think like putting each other on, right? Like,
That part.
is really important. I can already think of, and I like, okay, there's a bunch of soccer players on Granby Street, right? It's a huge soccer community, specifically Jamaican, West Indian soccer community. Hartford Athletic should toss some money over to Granby Street. Here, we're going to support that, right? That's how you get that kind of like, you start to build that infrastructure, right?
Wait.
Or UConn, right? Like UConn basketball, crazy, great. There's a bunch of courts that need fixing in Hartford. Boom, we're going to throw some money to all these
or
basketball
if
courts.
not, just them, the Connecticut Sun.
Or
like,
just the Connecticut Sun, bro. Like,
Granted, I understand that Mohegan Sun, the Connecticut Sun, but I don't understand why the Connecticut Sun don't play right here in downtown.
get it together, Connecticut Sun.
You know,
But I think that's to the point of like infrastructure and resources,
Right.
because we do have like, again, to my point about the lanes, like we already have like these amazing creatives working and building products and activating spaces, but oftentimes they either get discouraged because there's not like enough opportunity, so they go anywhere
Right.
somewhere else. But also there are literal people and companies and industries that have the money, like push for that.
And I think I agree, but I disagree with you guys, right? Like, we're on the right track, right? But like you just said, like, I have this like fucked up idea of Hartford just being this like spot that people want to come to, like for soccer, for basketball, like, you know, like what I want to do, making like a mentor program through soccer, right? And like a small little academy, kids kids want to come here. Parents want to send their kids here. You know what I mean? Like, people want to come here and learn about the coffee industry. People want to come here and watch. Like, for some reason, I see Hartford as just this little pit stop between Boston and New York, but it could be so much more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to your point of, like, people putting each other on, like, I tell you, I'm older than Rashawn, right? And I came before him, but he's actually helped me with my soccer career. Like, putting me on with people that could help me. You know what I mean? And, like, that helped me, but there's not what were we joking about earlier? Like, oh, niggas in Hartford don't put each other on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I
There's that, like,
but,
stereotype.
I mean, that's kind of true. Or is it?
I think, from my experience, I think the people that we look to get put on from don't have adequate resources for us.
There goes that R word again.
Resources?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he said the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't like what Elijah said about like like Hartford athletics, just like, oh, like, look at a bunch of Jamaicans and whatnot playing soccer over here. Let me put money into this. Like, that's just not how things work.
But I think
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
and it's a much larger scale, right? But the Puerto Rican Soccer Federation in Puerto Rico literally went and just started fixing fields all around Puerto Rico at schools so kids could have places to play. Because my thing, right, is like, instead of Hartford Athletic having to, and granted they've done a good job, more or less, for lack of better terms, whether I actually mean this or not, giving kids from Hartford like the opportunity to play, right? Imagine little Johnny who's playing on Granby Street who can't really afford boots, and let's be real, Granby Street's field is awful.
Horrible. Yeah,
right?
you could play over there. You could
imagine
play anywhere.
if they imagine if they
Hartford
went and fixed Granby Street and Cole Parks Field, and now our kids and they, you know, and I think that's what a lot, and companies and
Which is
teams
more than possible.
do that and it's not just Hartford Athletic. Like,
No, I get
the
that.
Yard Goats could do that for baseball, the Connecticut Sun could do that for basketball.
I think that's dope, but you're also banking on like the integrity of these inner city communities to them uphold that and like appreciate it and take care of it.
I don't
like-
think it's a. Okay.
All right, so like in terms of Hartford Athletic, right? Like now they have academy teams as well. Like I don't want to say this wrong, but I believe U14, 15, and 16. So that's creating a path for young players in or out of
Exactly.
the state to
Right.
come up through the academies and can go right into the
It's like a farm
professional
system.
team. Yeah, but at the same time, like you're saying, Spencer, we can't expect that everyone on that team is going to be from Hartford. That's just not how it works.
Right.
You feel me? Like the Boston Celtics, everyone can't be from Boston.
Are you telling me no one's from Boston that plays in
But that's a good point. Got me there.
But
Michelle.
yeah, it just don't work that way. But I think what's important is that it's there, and
Right.
If which they do, but make it accessible to people from the community to be able to see and meet these players. Maybe have like events where the players go out to, and maybe like speak to the kids or the kids answer questions for them, and they do have that. So I think that right there is good. But then it's now us in the community and the people of the community.
That part.
Like, how can we create something here in this in the community for the kids to go through and get the chance to go play for Hartford? It has
Right.
to be that. It can't be like Hartford coming in trying to, or like whatever the companies. It
They
could be
can't do
outside of
everything.
sports or
No,
whatever. Yeah,
and
they
I
can't
think
do
that
everything.
statement earlier was not about like Hartford Athletic or UConn doing everything. It's more of like there's clearly some fields that need some fixing. You have the resources.
Roads too.
Oh, roads too, right? But go on.
No, I just wanted to say I was pool hopping last night, and I was in Pope Park.
Wait,
and
Wait.
can you explain what that is?
Hold up.
I think I was the only one that
I
was
didn't
like,
say that.
I went swimming
Can I get invited? Like,
last
what?
night when I wasn't supposed to be, and I was there, and literally, bro, I have fucking fiberglass all over my body from the side of Pope Park's pool. Like,
Your
those
ass
were
shouldn't have been
the
pool
white.
hopping.
No, but what I don't understand is I was like, wait, kids really sit and play in this pool every single day. Hang out on the side where all that little white. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the barrier between the pool
Yeah.
and the concrete. bro, that's fiberglass. Like, if you touch that, you get little pieces of glass in your skin.
There's
I literally
lifeguards
went
there
home and I
during the
couldn't get
day.
it off, and I was like, yo, this is like what kids are being exposed to in the Hartford City pools. I don't understand. Like, how is that? And they're outdated. This is the same. I was on the swim team at Pope Park.
Yeah.
It's the same setup
That's dope.
since I was like 4. Like,
I think infrastructure helps build opportunity. Like, it's just period. Like, that's it. Like, and
Yeah.
it's a mixture of accountability on the individual, but also like we indirectly impact everything that happens here. So by Hartford Athletic or UConn or whatever saying, okay, well, we'll do this like farm program, that's great, right? But also, if you're talking about the identity and you want to keep pushing and highlighting the identity of Hartford, if the identity of Hartford is on Granby Street, niggas are going off, right, on soccer, then here we go. Like, here's some money for a new, like, just to support what y'all are doing here. We're not trying to, by any means, say we own this now. It's just here's somebody to support that.
Well, see,
That'd
that's
be
going to be the next step, because when people give money, like, oh, I own this. But no, I get...
No, true, yeah. I mean, that's another huge conversation.
Not
Equity.
to, like, single out Rashawn, but because you play for Hartford Athletics, right?
You play for... Okay.
I think it's... This is why, like, I take a big responsibility for, like, my why and what I'm looking to accomplish. And who knows if Hartford Athletics, one, gives a fuck or even knows about Granby Street if, like, you don't bring it up. Or, like, someone brings it up, like, hey, listen, like, this is where I grew up playing. There's some ballers over here. Let's just, like, bring... I don't know how that works. Like, you bring a coach or a scout and, like, just check it out. Like, oh, shit, like, we can actually make something out of this.
And let's also, like, preface all this by saying they very well could be doing this stuff, and
we just don't know.
We're just...
I don't know
Which,
anything
like,
about
like,
them.
like
Other
I'm
than
not trying to sit up here and sound like I'm just vouching for them.
No,
vouching
and that's
for them,
why, like,
but,
I-
like, whenever you say something, like, I will come back and, like, show how I see them doing it. 'Cause,
Right.
like,
You would
I'm
know
just trying
better
to
than
give
us.
them-
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, and that's why I don't want it to seem like we're bashing Hartford Athletic or whatever the case. Obviously,
hypotheticals.
right. Obviously, it's relevant because we have Rashawn here. But, like, they very well could be doing this, and we just don't know. And we're just saying this for sake of conversation. Because, like Elijah said, it could be UConn. It could be the Connecticut Sun. It could be the Wolfpack. It could be the Yard Goats. It could be anybody. It's just relevant because you're here. So, yeah,
But
I don't want it.
got a quick little question. Do
Ooh,
y'all feel like the identity of what Connecticut is matches with the identity of Hartford? And if not, do you feel like that's a problem in a sense?
Yeah. Connecticut's identity is insurance capital of the world. That's Hartford.
Okay.
but
Go ahead.
I feel like that's very one-sided, because, like, when you, to me, the way Connecticut's broken up, Connecticut, for one, I think is the largest wealth gap in the country. Like, whether from, like, when you combine Bridgeport, Hartford, Waterbury, like, these cities, New Haven, to, like, Greenwich and all these other places, like, it's very, very segregated, and, like, it's hard. I don't know. It's
Go
just like,
on.
I don't see it as just like, okay, insurance, because that's not just
Because
that.
you're
It's like-
from here, though. But
No,
from
but
the
I didn't-
outside looking in, that's where they view us.
I don't think anyone really
that's-
views Connecticut.
No, but
Like,
that's
wherever I was traveling to, people, I was like, yeah, I'm from Connecticut. They're like, what?
New York?
New York.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
facts.
No, but actually, anyone I've ever met that has heard of Connecticut is always like, "Oh, so you're rich?" And I'm like,
Oh,
What?
facts.
Yeah.
That's true.
They think
Because
I should be like, yes.
no, but that's what kind of upsets me, because it's
Yeah.
like, but you're not understanding. We do have like the biggest wealth gap. Like, you could literally be in the north and cross over to West Hartford or whatever, like crossing over, and it's like you go from mansions to like projects. Like, it's crazy. Or just like and everywhere. Same thing, like on Park Street going into Park Road. Like, it just instantly changes. And I feel like I don't know where I was going with that point, but it's worth bringing up.
I think shit, I just had the point. No, it goes back to, like, I don't know what the fuck I was about to say. You were going off, and I had the thought, and then I lost it, and
Well,
then
the initial question was,
how people view us.
yeah, like how people view Connecticut, and if you think Hartford
It's a
reflects that.
reflection of-
Yeah.
and
No.
You say no?
Oh yeah, no. I
don't know,
I would agree, because to your point, right? People from the outside know Connecticut for the rich, for the insurance, for whatever, right?
Mm.
But then when you actually get here, there's so much more.
Of course.
You hear what I'm saying? When you actually get to the Hartfords, to the New Havens, you know what I mean? There's so much more here, and people, one, don't know that because, like, look at Bloomfield High, right? You could do an ESPN 30 for 30 on Bloomfield High sports. Whether you think I'm capping because I went there.
No, that's true.
The track team has won, 14 of the last 16 indoor and outdoor championships?
Yeah,
How many professional NFL players do we have? Soccer players. Like, you could do a 30 for 30. Imagine if all these inner city kids actually had somebody that actually gave a fuck. You know what I mean? And help them get the proper training, the proper eating, like you were talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I remember playing with Nick, right? Your dad and my dad were the only two dads at the games. It is, and Bloomfield's a suburb. You hear what I'm saying? So, like, imagine these Hartford Pub, the Buckleys, the Weavers. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, but there's so many gems here that no, I don't think Hartford is seen for more than what Connecticut is, to answer the question.
Well, to that point, there's actually two things that came up. So one, with your saying just the wealth gap, there's also another thing that Connecticut's known for: the three highest deaths per capita in the country.
We have 3 of the top 5 in the country.
Yeah. But then the next thing, to your point, people who, like, if such people graduated from Bloomfield, went off to the league and were great, how many of them come back and educate? Like,
I
honestly don't know.
Track. I think Dwight Freeney made over that track, right? And things like that. Yeah, but I mean,
even Andre Drummond, I call him out on this all the time. Like, my man is from Middletown. Like, I saw you play at Capital Prep before your knees were like straight. Like, he was running down he was playing against Classical Magnet. He was running down the court and he looked so awkward.
So damn big.
Yeah. But if you ask him, he's from New York. Like, bro, no, you not. Like, why don't you just rep where you're from?
I've seen him at Red Rock a few times.
Really?
I actually heard Donovan Mitchell's from Middletown as well.
Yeah, it's like people don't come back and they don't.
John Mayer.
West Hart,
John Mayer's from
But
Connecticut,
what do
bro.
people owe? Like, I also feel
That's
like
a good question.
What do they don't owe anybody anything. They don't owe.
But where's your
to
pride?
that point?
No, I
then,
agree, because I have I always say where I'm from, but I'm just saying for other people, what if they lived in another place for longer? Then they identify more with that other place, and they're gonna say that that's where they're from. Like,
but to like
what are we doing for them that they're gonna they owe us anything?
Yeah.
And I think there's somewhat, currently right now, there's someone who's contributing to the culture and the scene in Hartford who, I was just talking to Jacob about him in the car, Don McLennan.
I was just about to bring him up.
Don McLennan.
Yo, Don McLennan, come on the show, bro.
Shout out to Don McLennan.
Because he's doing that.
He's doing that. Yeah, he was a part of a really famous rap group called Brockhampton. They performed at Coachella, like headline actually. And he's been just hosting these really dope picnics and is working on a creative studio.
I love picnics.
I think on Charter Oak Place, along with a few other people, a few other creatives, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's like really good stuff, and I'm happy for all of them that are working on that. But obviously, he doesn't owe Hartford or this thing, but I think having the ties and like connections, like, hey, like, he's like, yo, there's some really good people that are working on some cool stuff. I want to contribute, and this is how I want to contribute in this way.
Facts.
And that's really cool.
Not to cut you.
No, you
I
good.
even and I said that I literally the last time I saw him, I was like, yo, just thank you for like doing this and wanting to do it, because he really doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to stay in Connecticut.
Word.
Like, you could be in LA, doing what you want to be doing, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. But it is nice to have like someone like that come back and want to give back to their community, because that's really a beautiful thing, and that's how we can continue to grow that way.
Yeah.
People do leave because there is nothing like we said, we all left for various reasons, and I want to continue to leave, but I want to come back as well. But I think the only way to grow, you do have to leave and understand that, and then come back when the time's right.
Then, like, do you feel like people are wanting to leave where they are to come to Hartford? Because I feel like that's a big part of what's going.
Yeah, like there's no
make up
tourist attractions here.
Yeah,
I was
and
about
I
to say
think
Six Flags.
unless we have great colleges,
Yeah.
like Trinity's great, UConn obviously.
Yeah.
We have
Yale,
some. We actually have
Quinnipiac,
some really good insurance companies that are bringing. Some
Ballin, Travelers, Prudential, ING.
That's a good point. I don't know if Connecticut or Hartford is appealing.
yeah, like it's almost like when you hear Connecticut, it's like for me when I go out there and I tell people Connecticut, like they think of like hella trees, like a retirement state type of thing, and
Definitely
then,
a
like,
retirement state.
then they're not really, you feel me, like it's not. And like as humans, what's going to attract us is like is culture, it's music, it's
Right.
food,
It's art and music.
art and
And the
these
sad
things,
thing
and,
is
like,
we actually have that.
exactly,
It's just not exposed.
and that's why, like, going back to my question, I'm wondering if like Connecticut as a whole needs to, you know what I mean, kind of like make those things attractive in the state, or does Connecticut just kind of settle for being an insurance state type of thing? Whereas, like, real quick, like when you think of like Florida, for example, like, you know what I mean, like I feel like Florida and Miami, it goes hand in hand, or like California and LA and San Diego, like that all kind of feels like the same vibe. Whereas like it's like Connecticut and then Hartford, like I don't know.
a lot of you say it with the same. There's
Yeah.
Connecticut and Hartford, right? Like different.
It's a fact though.
You also got to think of like Fairfield County. That's like where the majority of the money is. And when people think of Connecticut,
That's what they think.
they think of the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest zip codes in the U.S., which is down there.
06106.
06106. That's my zip code on the south end.
I
I
was
was
joking.
gonna say,
Damn sure ain't the South End. The way you looked at me, I
I
was,
was just like,
wait, did I say area code? I was mad confused.
but yeah, I'm curious now. I'm curious how people. I talked to a lot of people from Massachusetts, Atlanta, well, Georgia. Yeah, I don't really.
At least we're not Maine.
Why? You can get guns for the
Well,
low
Maine's
and
got
grow
lobsters.
weed.
Wow, let me move away. He said guns for the low. I don't know this guy. But listen, y'all, we've been chopping it up a little over an hour. And I think a lot was said, and there's like a lot to be digested because like Hartford has a lot of potential.
Hartford has it.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
They need to come fucking
But can I
spill some
make
money
one
to this
comment?
podcast.
Yeah.
I do think that Hartford, like, okay, I don't know if anyone knows Kelsey Renfro, but she's
That's my
like,
cousin.
Kelsey, who?
Yeah.
no, but I think like she's another person in the community that's very big on like wanting us to succeed. And I think that behind the scenes, because she works with people that like have these big budgets and like grant monies and things like that are making things happen, I hear the conversation behind closed doors about what's happening and that they want art and culture here. Like the big people that are going to be able to make it happen financially, like want that. So
There's
I
budgets
really,
for it.
Exactly. And I think, and every year it's like these groups of people that work with the city are making it happen. Like we just don't see it, we don't know it, but I'm telling you, it's happening. Like little, but like there's people that want it to happen. There's of course barriers and certain people that will get in the way, but I think that it's like
Little by little.
Little.
That steady incline that you.
Yes, exactly.
Well, shit, you need to connect the How'd I Get Here podcast with Kelsey Runthrow or whatever you said her name is, because she sounds like
she's
the woman
GOAT.
to know.
No, I swear to you, she is. Like she really is.
Word, but as you guys know, we end every episode with like a little 15 seconds of fame. So you guys can like talk your shit, plug your businesses, shout your mama out. It doesn't have to do anything. Have to do anything with this. You can do your 15 seconds and then we'll wrap.
You have to do yours with your shades off, though.
I will. Oh my god, I will. Yes.
So I
your
guess
pupils
we'll
look like?
start with Rashawn and then work our way back this way.
All right, so like obviously, like I said earlier, my name is Rashawn Dally. I'm a professional soccer player. I run a business called Rule of Sports Empowerment, which is to empower the youth through sports. And for everybody watching, thank you for watching. And I have a challenge for everyone to just find one way how you can like shine light on the arts and the culture and sports
that.
in Hartford, whether that's through a conversation, sharing the podcast, or educating yourself on it. And that's it for me.
That's tight.
Word, that's dope.
Why you going to me?
Okay. If you haven't yet, come check out Samia Cafe and Studio. If you are a creative entrepreneur, what have you, keep striving. There are codes and there are breadcrumbs left by tons of people. Please pick them up. And if you could fight one chicken-sized man, would you fight the chicken-sized man or 15 man-sized chicken? That's to get you. That's to get you some background. That's to get some engagement.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
I'll
Reply
let you
in
know
the
who
comments.
responds to that.
Reply in the comments,
Reply in the
okay?
comments.
Reply in the comments.
I say the 15 chicken-sized man, but
Okay.
anyways. Yeah.
Rashawn's like, what the fuck?
But yeah, we're not doing the like, oh, you could find me at.
Oh, yeah, no, talk your shit. They didn't do it.
Okay. You can find me at Sonia Marantz, SONIAMORANT. No, but yeah. So like any type of performance or entertainment purposes you need, whether it's dancing, DJing, singing, full bands, fire dancing. I got a fire dancer, Josefa at Calliope. We got it all. So yeah, hit us up.
Love it.
I'm just happy we all got together. This is I feel like this was a long time coming.
Sorry.
You okay?
Here.
I have the perfect way to end the podcast, but
Okay.
just before.
Damn, we don't do
Sorry.
it good enough.
No, but you know what I'm about to do.
I don't know what you're gonna do.
You gonna do a backflip?
Oh wow, I know what you're gonna do.
All right.
Oh, I don't know if I got the
one.
muscle for it.
All right. I will thank you three for coming on. Rashawn, I'm sorry if we gave you a hard time. But nah, for real,
No,
this was like
it was good. And
word.
I feel like I got a lot out of this.
Appreciate
too,
it.
So I appreciate you.
You know, to the city, like come out, show out, support, show love. I see you all the time. Glad we finally got to make it happen because we talked about this last time you were home. But my 15 seconds of fame, learn to take accountability, whether it's for yourself, taking accountability for your actions, or learn to take accountability, whether it's yourself or your actions, or maybe something you may have caused. It always takes two to tango, but there's always, take accountability. That's shit I got to say. But I'm going to hand it back to you so you could finish it however.
Well, you said you don't give a fuck, so I don't know if I should do it.
No,
anymore.
he said he hit his arm.
Yeah, like
I was about to say, damn.
So what are we doing?
No.
I was like,
No, my arm is
Okay.
shot. But what we doing?
friendship on 5, and then someone has to start, so you have to go 1, and then you go 2, and I go 3, and then you go 4, and then you go 5, and then everybody puts their hands together and goes, friendship.
It works.
We're gonna hit
It
the
works.
mic.
No, trust me. But you have to do it with like spunk. Like you gotta feel it. So are you gonna start it?
I'd rather not. Give a shot. Start.
So what am I doing?
Okay, just
One?
go.
Friendship
I'll say
on fire.
friendship
Just
on,
put your
and then
hand
you
right
go
to here.
1.
Just put your hand right in the middle
Yeah,
of it.
just in the middle.
All right.
Can I just
Ready?
do
I'm so
this?
excited.
Yeah, exactly. Just do that. Go.
And then at the
You'll
same
probably
time,
reach under
yeah.
it, but don't go up.
No, I gotta
Wait,
go
are you
up.
guys ready?
Yeah.
Friendship on
1.
2.
3.
4.
5.
Friendship.
Yo, we ain't never ended this shit like that again. And that's a wrap on another motherfucking episode, yo. That's it. We're done.